Hello! In this video, you will learn how to customize certificates. To find your certificate, you can search by item number or go to Customize, click on Geographic Stationery and Certificates. Now, to find your item number, you can locate it on the back of your package under the barcode. I'm going to pick up a certificate from here. I like this one, and I'm gonna customize a landscape certificate. You will see some instructions that are guiding you through the editing, preview, and merge data tabs that are very useful. And right now I'm gonna delete this instruction sheet. And I'm going to walk you through the menus. The top menu, very important, especially the right side with the text, where you click and you get your text box, which you can expand. You can increase the size of the text in the edit area. Here's the font size. You can either enter it by choice or just enter it by number here. 49, and then click outside of the box. Okay, so this didn't show much, but I would like to show you how to use arc text. You enter your text here as opposed to in a different area, and you have to just click on and you get it. You can expand on it, so you can write diploma or certificate and so forth, but I would rather use a template because we worked very hard to build these templates. So in the order of recognition, I will choose the certificates, and I will choose one of these templates, the achievement. So I'm clicking on use, and I plan on importing some names and using the merge data, making all the certificates that I need for my students this year. So the first thing is to arrange the text boxes the way I like the final product to look like. So if I want to change any text, I can just click on hover over and make the student name fonts different. I have to click out. As I said, I go here and I make this, let's say 55, click out, and so the student name should be larger. When I change the font here, I will make it 45 rather. Click outside the box, and then here, so this acknowledges that student name is recognized for subject awarded and so forth. Here's a text box that I want to move up. I can either move it up with a arrows, or you can see I can move it back and forth. If I wanted to move an entire group of boxes, I can just select them from down up and just move them together. Right now I would like to use an Excel spreadsheet that I created, so I'm going to look for it and I'm going to show it to you. In order to understand the menus, you can see the edit has all sorts of features. If you'd like to increase the letter spacing, for example, watch the student name. Letters are getting further away from each other or closer together. This you can use when you have text that you don't want to minimize with font size. So that could fit in the right spot. So right now I'm gonna look at my certificate on this side, and I'm going to start merging some data. So start merge. I'm going to go through these screens that are instructions, and I'm going to select my file, which is a test here. So I have here 4 columns: the names of the students, the type of awards, the day, and the names of the people that are going to sign at the bottom. So before I upload this file, I need to understand what text boxes I'm gonna put this data in, and therefore I'm just gonna cancel it, and I'm gonna see I have a student name spot here is recognized for here. Subject I have there is the second column. Awarded this day is the third column, and then I have names of people. Here I would have to type the position of the person who signs, and perhaps I would have to create a new text box on top, and just let's say Board of Education. We may want to change this whatever our needs are. So people's names should be basically at the top. I'm just gonna delete this, and I'm just gonna add new text boxes. Here's my text box, which I'm gonna put in here. So here's where I'm gonna have one teacher one. I'm just gonna make a note so I know what I put where. And if I want to increase the size, I'm just gonna go back to edit and of course increase the size, make it 16. Click outside, and that's a pretty good text. I'm just gonna place it down here, and now I'm gonna just copy it with Control C, Control V. Just gonna copy it here. One good thing about this is you can use your keys, and you can always move things around using the keys, which is great. So here I'm gonna move the teacher box with my key down here so everything looks nice. Here, whatever my school name is, and then let me give it a try, see what comes out. So now that I am happy with all the things on the page, maybe I want the subject to have the same font like the student name. I'm just gonna go merge data. I'm gonna bring all these pieces of data from my Excel file right in this certificate. I'm gonna go next, and let's see what I place where. So each text box will appear on my right side with the content in the beginning, and then all the columns in my Excel spreadsheet will appear on the left side. And now I have to make sure that I put the right things in the right places. So I'm gonna put the name of the student in the student name. The subject is recognized for is just header before the subject. This day of. This will replace the awarded this day of. And then here I'm gonna just enter the names all. Let me put it back, and I'm gonna scroll down and have the teacher 1 and the teacher 2. Whenever I place my data in front of text that I have in the box on the certificate, the data is gonna replace the text. Okay, so I'm gonna merge the data. Let's see what happens. So all of a sudden, from one page, I have all the pages that I need, whatever I had on my folder. I do not recommend merging more than 10 certificates at one time, because the file may become huge, especially if you add any kind of badges or logos or things that are images. They're going to become very heavy. But right now I recommend that we go through each and every certificate and make any corrections. If you want, you can go page by page, or it is easier to just save this file, go to print, download it, and then you can visualize it easily in your printer settings if you don't want to spend too much time. So right now I would just preview it here. You can go page by page. Of course, you can click on the page. It's gonna upload. It's gonna take a while. You can also edit pages from the preview. Everything looks okay. So I'm just gonna close this and go to print. I advise that before you start doing a project, you log in or create an account, because you may lose the project. You never know what happens. And so you log in first, you create the project. It's important to save it with a name in case something happens with your internet, you don't lose it. I have not saved it, so I'm gonna either save it right now. If I go to print, it will compel me to give it a project name anyway, but I just tell you to do it before you go to print because it's better. So project name would be certificates. If you want to do multiple merges, I would save multiple projects with the name certificates, and I would give them one before I merge. So I can always go there to the certificate 2 and I start merging with new data. Store purchase, I would enter geographics for now. Geographics.com. If you do not know your store, you can enter the store name if you can't find it in this list. Once you enter the first letters, you will have a list of stores to choose from with those letters that you entered. So right now I'm gonna save it, and then I want to print it. Okay, so here I see everything, all the preview, and I'm just gonna start printing it. Okay, it is very important that you do not use fit to page or scaling because it may distort the text. If you want to see what you get, it's advisable to have the actual size. So here's my PDF that downloaded. I set up the browser so it downloads directly in my, it opens save as. There's a setting somewhere here in your browser. Otherwise you have to look for the file somewhere or here where it shows downloads. In this, if you look under this arrow here, you will find the file and you can open it from there and save it. If you're in Mozilla Firefox, if you are in Chrome, you'll have a different way of saving the files. That information you will see under the help in iClick and Print and under the forum. So here I'm gonna go to the, not to the downloads, but I want to save it in documents, and I click on print. I'm already there. I'm gonna give it a name. I'll call it certificates 1 so I can remember what it is. I'm gonna delete the temporary name here, just put a name. Okay, and you may want to give it a date or the year. And here you have a screen that normally you should close, but I would leave it open just in case you don't have a good result. If you click no, then it's gonna walk you through instructions what else you can do. So right now I leave this open so I can give feedback at the end, and I look for my file. Where did I download it? It's in my documents and here, and I click on print, and it is the first because I have them by date modified, so it's the first one in line, and here it is. Not a good look because it's landscape, so I have to click on landscape. Now I see it very well, and I see I have 10 pages. Now I don't know if I can make this print screen bigger. Normally it's hard to see. You can go through each and every page here, therefore it's better to go directly in the project. I would print the first page as a test, so I would go to current page. Actual size is okay here. Orientation is okay. Make sure you have the color or the black and white depending on what colors you have in the project, and do whatever other property settings you wish to do. Page setup, very important. You have to choose 8.5 by 11 or letter or A4, whatever the size of your document is. You want to make sure you print everything well. So now you go print, and once you have your sheet out, you put it on top of the actual certificate and see where the writing goes, and everything looks fine. Then you just put your certificates in the printer. Normally you can put a sign on the blank page to see how the printer takes the paper from face down, and it comes out printed face up. I would place 10 certificates in my printer and print. In fact, you can see them right here. This is the actual PDF. This is where you can see, instead of looking in the printer, you can see it right here. And if you can spot any mistakes, then you can just close it and go back into your document here, and you may say no. If you say no, you may have some other printing instructions here, and if you really need help, then you can come to us and we will try to help you. Sometimes we can even redo customers' projects if we feel that something is important. So it's very important for us to know if people encounter bugs so we can solve them. So right now I'm back into my project and I can make any kind of changes here by going, you see I'm on page 4. If I wanted to delete a page, I can just click on this. Okay, delete. I can also delete it from the bottom here. If I wanted to align things, I have a grid here that allows me to align certain lines maybe. If I want to make sure that everything starts in one place. In fact, if I can't catch this line, I'm just gonna mark it and move it with the arrows. That's the best way of dealing with lines. They're tricky to get. So now I can again start printing it and save it. If I want to save it with the same name, so I can replace the existing file, so I don't have many files. If not, I can give it another name. So this is the way of dealing with merging of certificates. If you want to create certificates manually, then I'm going to clear the project. Okay. Leave all the pages. But if I want to start from page 1 and I want to start from scratch, then I can always enter my data by hand. And I can customize any way I want. I can add new pages if I want. As you can see, I'll have new pages. Each page preserves the text. So if you want to get rid of all the text that you created with merge, you just need to start from scratch, new project from here, and this will become a new page with the same instructions as in the beginning. So I invite you to play around with the template, even with the clip art. We have a lot of clip art here. Some of the word art, play with fonts, with letter spacing, line height, all sorts of features from the top. I invite you not to be timid and just play around with things. Nothing can hurt. If anything happens that you do not like, you can always undo. And if worst comes to worst, you can always start from scratch, and I hope that you'll be successful. Give us some feedback. Thank you.